I am not okay. So, today, I just finished reading Allegiant by Veronica Roth. It's so pretty. First of all, Veronica Roth autographed it. I've been waiting for this book for so long. I remember specifically when Kirby introduced me to Divergent 2 or so years ago, and I literally thought it was going to be the stupidest series ever, but then my life just got sucked into it, and I became obsessed. I crossed over to the dark side. To the dauntless side! Okay. I've been waiting for this ending for a long time, and I'm not going to lie, this book, this was the epitome of a good trilogy. Allegiant is also a good closing book, and a bunch of people disagree, which I don't get. I know that a lot of people are mad because Veronica killed off Tris, but I'm like, a book doesn't have to have a happy ending. It doesn't have to be that everybody survives and everybody lives, and I think killing off Trish just reinforces the idea that this dystopia that they're living in is so terrible. So many people died over the course of the book. You basically have the whole group of characters that you start out with, all these people, all these initiates, all her family, and the majority of them are wiped out. You're left with 6 characters. You're left with Christina, Caleb, Zeke, Shauna, Kara, who's not even that major. That is not a lot. And Tobias, of course. It just shows how terrible this dystopia is. The book was really fast-paced. It was really action-packed. I thought the writing was well. The only thing I didn't really like is, even though I loved having 2 points of views, oh my god, Tobias. I loved having it, but I didn't see that much of a difference between their perspectives. I couldn't tell that Tobias was Tobias. I'd oftentimes be reading a chapter and not realize till halfway through that it was in Tobias's point of view because it sounded like Tris. And I don't think that's really Veronica's fault. I think the whole thing is, though, that because we haven't seen Tobias's point of view, it was just a weird adjustment. I really liked the new idea of having this be an experiment. I like how they expanded on it and really gave you the full scope of it. I liked the whole genetically damaged, genetically pure, that kind of thing. I thought that was interesting because it kind of represented this, divide that we have in our society today, and it's showing that in the future that could still happen, and we're never going to get rid of that kind of racism, sexism, any of those things, and that was really interesting. I loved finding out that Tobias was not Divergent because that just added more complexity to Fortress, and it also showed that not every male character, the love interest, does not have to be this perfect person. It showed that Tobias was damaged in some way that Tris could not fix. I really liked all the Fortress moments. On page 5, chapter 2, Tobias calls her not just Tris, he says, my Tris should be pale and small. My Tris, you just put a dagger through my heart. Cute moments where they'd almost do it but then stopped. In the couch scene, I'm not going to even talk about that because that was just sexy as fuck, and they finally did it. I liked how their relationship wasn't completely perfect. A lot of times, especially in YA novels, the relationship is perfect once it started and stuff, but there were so many little points in this book where they had trust issues or when they'd be mad at each other and stuff, and that was great because that's a legit relationship, especially in such extreme circumstances. I don't even want to talk about the epilogue and the ending with Tobias's short little chapters about flashbacks to when they first met and when he caught her in the net and when he saw her at abnegation. I just can't. The Fortress in this book was just fucking Fortress. And they said, Dauntless Cake is better. I was like, I got you, Veronica. The fandom has you. It was funny. There were a lot of funny jokes. I also liked a lot of the parallels between Tobias and Tris. The whole mirror thing where Tobias goes and gives himself a haircut and talks about how Marcus used to cut his hair. I'm like, flashback to the first few pages of Divergent. The zip-lining scene at the end. That was intense because 4 overcame his fear so that he could spread the person he loves ashes out over the city that she died for, and it just it took so much strength for Tobias to do that, to accomplish that, and he did it for her, and that was, you killed me, Veronica. I liked how Triss died. I mean, I don't like the fact that Triss died, even though I think it's necessary to the novel, but obviously I'm mourning for her. I like the significance of her realizing that she can never escape the factions. The whole book really talks about how are we classified by the factions, or is it that our genes? Like, that's the whole question, and it really showed how even though Triss tried to escape from the factions, she still is abnegation at heart and still dauntless at heart. She can't escape the factions. And so she does the selfless thing, sacrifices herself for Caleb to save her brother, despite the horrible things that Caleb did. She just fits into those factions, and I think that was such a great way of ending it for Triss, because it showed that no matter how hard she tried to escape, she just got right back to where she started. And that's kind of sad, but it was really interesting to read. She survived the death serum, and I have no idea how. I would like an explanation as to why she's so special, as into passing the truth serum and the death serum. Like, I'm a little confused on that, Veronica, but I'll let that slide because the book was phenomenal. Just to have David there, like, F you, David. Why? Why did you ruin this for me? And then shoot her? Like, no. But I liked the scene with Natalie coming back. I thought that was so sweet. A lot of Allegiant focused on Natalie and stuff, and that was really interesting. Reading her journals, hearing about her backstory was, like, the best. And reading Natalie's journal entries, extra ones and stuff, and they were really interesting because they talk more about her and Andrew, and it's super cute. That was really interesting to see kind of where she came from. And I don't know, it was great. It was just... it was good. That scene with Evelyn and Tobias at the end, and she chose her son. Gah. Overall, this book was incredible. I don't even know what to say about it. It was just so good. I'm so happy I read it. I'm so happy I finished the series. Thank you, Veronica. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You made an incredible series. I'm so happy with it. It exceeded all my expectations. I love it. I love you. I'm so excited for the movie, and I really can't wait to read the rest of 4 stories. Leave your thoughts below in either a comment or video response on what you thought of Allegiant, or link me to your blog post or whatever you want. And if you need to talk about it or cry about it or vent about it, you can hit me up on Tumblr. Fucking Allegiant. That's... stay dauntless, or in this case, stay emotional and dead. Oh, P.S. The journal thing, Natalie's journal, opens up to a poster that I'm holding upside down. So I'm totally laminating this and adding it to my wall of fandom-related things.